Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good morning, Leeward Islands. Good morning, OECS. Good morning to you in the Caribbean. Hey, and as we step further afield, we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you wherever you are in your part of the world. Welcome to another edition of Voices here on winnfm 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills. I have the pleasure of being your host for today. Excuse me, a little stifling there. And boy, I suspect we are going to have a wonderful time today, a blistering time, a hot day. I hope I might not have to don my fire resistant suit because of the heat that I suspect will be happening today. Of course, we're entertaining your calls and we're talking about any and everything locally, regionally, internationally. And I ask you to respect yourself, respect your listeners, of course, respect the host, please, and respect the WinFM 98.9 brand. And nothing libelous, please, not at all. No libel, because we don't want to go down that road. Nothing to bring the station into disrepute, and keep it clean, respect yourself, as you have always been doing. But I just thought it was necessary to remind you. And what we are going to try to do is keep our calls somewhat short, to within 2-3 minutes, and maybe you might get an extra second over 3 minutes, but let's try to work with that 2-3 minutes range in case where you have quite a few things to say. Maybe you'll call in throughout the program at different situations, at different times, pardon me. And of course, I may engage you a little longer, like I said, but as much as possible, call in, you make your point. I may ask you a question or two, get your view on it. But let's keep it lively. We're going to start this morning. A lot of things have been happening. We know the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party, they celebrated another year of existence, and it was historic because it was at their new headquarters. Well, before I go there, I remind you the numbers to call: 466-0989, 466-0989. If you're in the UK, good morning to, well, it's now afternoon. Good afternoon, Chris Collins, and all Kittitians and Divisions there. 033-344-0065, 033-344-0065. That's the number you call if you're in the UK. In the US of A, 718-285-6984. Good morning, Cleo. Good morning, Gwen. Good morning, Pearl. Good morning, Winston. Hope you guys are doing well. 718-285-6984 if you're calling from the US, and 305-921-4619 if you're calling from Canada, 305-921-4619 if you're calling from Canada. And again, we mentioned the fact that the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party, the ruling party of the Federation, they celebrated another year, and it was historic because they opened their new headquarters. It's the first time they have in their convention. Wow, the lines are already up. I pause and I say, good morning, caller. Oh, I was a little too slow there. And good morning. Oh, I was a little slow there with it. Both of them, my apologies. Please do call back. And just in case you may not want to call, you can still share your view. We are streaming live on YouTube and also on Facebook. You can leave your comments there, or you can send them direct to me on WhatsApp, 668-2055, 668-2055. That's my mobile number. It's also my WhatsApp number. I know some persons use one number for mobile, one for WhatsApp. I use it for both. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Voices here on WinFM 98.9. You're live.
Good morning again, Biff.
Good morning, sir.
And greetings once more again in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only. Now, let me say, first thing, in a call that I made in your previous program, and I said government are the biggest liars. And I came to realize, I knew it before COVID, but came to realize it a lot more during COVID. And let me say this: the thing is that as I think the movie A Few Good Men, I think in that I think what Jack Nichols who said, "You want the truth? Well, the truth is you can't handle the truth," and that is the truth. We can't handle the truth, and that is why when we love the politicians, them telling us sweet lies. And I've said before, all of our parties, you name them all, PAM, Labour, Team Unity, that was.
They're not as truthful as they should be.
Yeah, you name them all. They're all cults because.
Girl, no, hold on, Greg. Cults. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with that word, cult.
Well, they don't want you question them.
Yes.
They don't want you challenge them.
Is that the definition of a cult?
Obviously, yes, of course.
I am thinking it's much deeper than that. I'm not so certain I'm at all comfortable with it.
If you have an organization where
I prefer you to take back that word for me, please, Greg, and apologize. That's not the definition I'm seeing of cult. A cult is broadly defined. A cult is broadly defined as a group of people held together by excessive devotion to a particular person, idea, or belief. So please withdraw your statement and apologize for me, Greg. Greg, please, can you please, I'm not comfortable with Greg. Can you please withdraw your statement and apologize? I'm not at all.
I do not see where I am wrong.
Okay, Greg, I'll have to end the call. Thank you for calling. Okay. And folks, please walk with me. Yes, I'm relatively new hosting voices. Yes, different hosts have different styles. And I don't want to get a call to say why I allowed a caller to use this word and not get away with it. I don't. When I got the word, I heard it, it wasn't fitting in my understanding of a cult, the word cult. And as I just read it and I'll read it again, a cult is broadly defined as a group of people held together by excessive devotion to a particular person, idea or belief system. That is how my general understanding was. And it's not fair, it's not right to suggest that any government is a cult. Please, Greg, and I am not at all happy. I'm not at all happy with that, Greg. And for you not wanting to apologize, please. And in case it's like, we appreciate the value, the opinion, and the interaction with all callers. However, I'm not going to expose myself to liability. I'm not going to expose winnfm 98.9 to any liability. And I'm not going to expose our sponsors and our partners and shareholders. So therefore, I'm not going to allow that sort of discussion. And if it is a case that we are not matured and professional enough and responsible enough to apologize, I think until I'm told otherwise, I think I will have to not continue entertaining persons along that course, because if you do it now, chances are you may say something again and out of the way and not apologize and things like that. You may not agree with it, but hey, I am the host. I have to be comfortable with it. I am the one who's going to get a call. Troy, why did you allow that? So please understand, listeners. Please work with me. I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm imploring you. I'm admonishing you. Please work with me. I prefer to err on the side of caution. If it's a mistake, if it shouldn't be, I prefer to err on the side of caution. So, Greg, please understand that. And I do expect you to call and apologize, withdraw your statement and apologize before we really could continue to entertain you. I had that situation with another caller some weeks ago, and the caller withdrew the statement and apologized. Otherwise, I would not have entertained the caller. As simple as that. So, we continue. It's unfortunate that happened, but sometimes these things happen to open up our eyes and allow us to step back and think about things in a little different manner. But according to Bob Marley, we got so much things to say right now, so much things. We were talking about the the Labour Party and their new headquarters, and I say congratulations to them. And I've been down there for dinner. I've been down there for events before. It's a nice little space. We're down at Limekeel, and I heard it was all painted red, which you could expect. Parties normally paint their headquarters, their buildings, the spaces they rent in their party colors. So we understand they had hundreds of persons there. So congratulations to everyone. I saw a clip with some persons there, all decked in red, as you could imagine and understand. And well, a question popped out to me. It had hundreds there, but then the march, we were told, had thousands. So what caused the thousands to drop to the hundreds? I don't know. And that's a different kettle of fish. And this morning on Island Tea, the discussion of the 3 deportees, Jamaicans and Belize. I'm not at all certain. I haven't seen anything to indicate whether it's 2 from Jamaica, 1 from Belize, or 1 from Jamaica, 2 from Belize. But the question, a million and one questions being raised. The caller calling and asked about the cost, not to the country. What is it going to cost? Because the release from the government did say it's not a cost to the country. So it suggests, and this is what we're talking about, clarity and transparency and not giving full information. I don't believe the article said who is responsible for that cost. It says that there's no cost to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So I think persons will be left to assume that the US of A will be footing the bill. And this is where our politicians, our governments, our as in universal, not here in St. Kitts and Nevis only, but all over, need to be forthright with the people. Yes, the release came a little late, and it came after the fact. And I think I could appreciate that, because as we said, you don't want all the media houses and 253 people who don't have anything to do with the matter just going up there looking news, as it were. So it was a means of controlling that, because we know when some persons were deported from St. Kitts, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, if I'm remembering well, media personnel were up there. I mean, that's our job. It is our job in the media to report things to you, accurately, I should add. And at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, media up there when plane land and persons being boarded and things like that. But it wasn't announced, but it leaked out. So I could understand the control of it. But 1,001 questions, it's going to take how long to process them? I'm not certain. But 2 days, they came in yesterday. So either today or tomorrow, I am thinking it'll take, I don't believe it'll take 2 days to process them. I think, and as it's only 3, they should be processed in maybe just a day, a few hours. After they are processed, what is happening? And we're going to try to reach out to the police to find out. I don't know if they're the leading agency on that, or the Ministry of National Security, to find out what is actually the process. And we're going to try to have an officer here. And we have been trying to get some departments from government here to give us information, not us as in WinFM, us as in Kittitians and Division, you the people. Because in the absence of information, we are going to think and we are going to believe what we want, which could be misinformation, malinformation, all kind of not the truth, fake news, whatever. But in the absence of information, we're going to make assumptions. That's how we are as a people. And we are trying. There are several departments of government we have been trying. We've written to, we've reached out to. Some have been acknowledged, say, hey, sorry, we can't make it. Some have not been acknowledged, which in all fairness, I remember a boss man of mine pulled me up. I'm not going to say when, but he pulled me up for not responding to emails, even though I may call you in response to the emails. I was told that, but Troy, you're not responding to emails. So I took that because I don't like people telling me things twice for spite. So from that, every email I got, I'll skim through if I have the time there and then, look at the caption, read the first paragraph or two, line or two, and at least respond, hey, I acknowledge receipt, we'll get back to you shortly or subsequently or something like that. According to what it is noted, yes, I agree, I will be there if it's an invitation to a meeting or whatever. So I've since done that, and the same boss in meetings would have used me as an example. From that way, I had to be told, hey, you don't do a good job responding to emails. So all of a sudden, when Troy get an email, he respond almost right away. Of course, it's not going to be possible and practical, but telephone calls, WhatsApp messages, emails, when we get them, I encourage all of us to please respond as soon as we can, as soon as possible. And I do tell people, if I see a missed call from you, yes, I might be tied up. It might take me a day, 2, even a week. When I'm skimming through my call logs, I say, but hold on. I got a call from Cartensia here. I don't remember speaking to Cartensia. Maybe we spoke. So I'm going to call her. Cartensia, I saw a missed call from you last week, Tuesday. And this is just an example, eh? Missed call. Oh, yes, try. No matter, I got it sorted out. Oh, we spoke about this or whatever. Because you just don't know what people are calling you or asking you or wanting you for. Likewise, if I see a call, private caller, unknown caller, oh, yes, I'm going to answer. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it's all about. I often tell people, hey, it could be my children. They got into a situation and they borrowed somebody's phone to call me, and they saw that the person either borrowed their phone or had a bar on it. Or it could be a stranger passing, a neighbor passing my house, see something and calling me to inform me, boy, I see some movements in your house and I don't think anybody there, or boy, your back door open, or she smoke, or God forbid. So please, when we see unknown callers or private callers, please take the call. If it's a call we don't want, we hang up. We had to tell the person, hey, I don't appreciate that, I'm going to hang up, or you just hang up, things like that. But please, that's one instance. Some people don't answer calls from numbers they don't know. So I might call somebody, they may not have had my number stored or know me to call them from that number, and they're going to not answer. And when I say, hey, boy, Jerry, I've been calling you, I called yesterday 3:30, but I see the number, but I didn't recognize it. I encourage you, overseas numbers, especially WhatsApp. If I get a WhatsApp from a strange number, I'm not going to really, especially if it doesn't give me information, hi, hello, I'm not going to answer you because, this WhatsApp fake thing. But anyway, going back to the persons coming in, questions that some came out, they are processed yesterday, today. Are they going to be just let out on the street? When they're let out on the street, where do they go? Because they don't know anybody. Chances are they don't know anybody in St. Kitts and Nevis. So are they going to just walk around and sleep here, sleep there? Did they come with cash? Could they afford to feed themselves for the first day or two? So even if they might sleep, find a corner or hole to sleep, God forbid, so to speak, would they be able to buy breakfast, lunch, dinner? Where would they shower? Okay, so I guess they'll find the bath, public bath. I don't remember seeing them coming with any luggage, per se, baggage, and a little bag in their hand. So I don't know if all the clothes they had would have been on their backs. So 1,000,001 questions. And I am expecting that some member of the government will have a press conference shortly to give us some information and accept and field questions. And when is the next set coming? How many coming? When were you told that this set was coming? Were you told so yesterday, last week, last month? So you would have given whatever time to repeat. Did the US ask for any specific conditions? How they expect them to be treated? They said they can leave and go back to their home territory anytime. The question was, well, why didn't they go to Jamaica and Belize in the first instance? Have they done something there in Jamaica and Belize while they can't go back? So if they could come here and leave and go back to their country, but they can't really go back because of something there, is that an accurate statement to say? Well, maybe technically, but all these things we talk about, and what's the cost, the value? Because there must be a value, a daily value. If you want to expound it to a monthly value, you must use electricity, water, telephone, so it's going to cost you, I don't know, $173.27 a day, including food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and whatever. And then multiply that, 173. Well, that's an awkward figure, eh? Let's use $200. And let's cut it down. $230, that's $6,000. It may not necessarily cost somebody $6,000 to live per day, per month. So let's say it is $100 for simple math, so that's $3,000. Still high, but it's costing $3,000 a month for one of these persons to be in St. Kitts. That's $9,000 for the three of them. How much money did the US give you? Did they give you $9,000 for the first month? Or did they give you $9,000 times 3, $27,000 for the first 3 months? What will happen after these 3 months, after that money runs out? Could you make a call and say, hey, that money finished, we need some more, and they'll give you? These are the questions that persons are asking, because obviously they're going to use our resources. They're going to use our water, electricity, cable, and, well, transportation, of course, and living, food, accommodation, food. I don't know. Maybe you have the answers. I'm not. But anyway, that's one thing on the local scene. And we have, well, in terms of sports, they say Kitts and Nevis on the 23 3x3 basketball team. They competed in the first ever OECS on the 23 basketball competition in BVI Tortola on the weekend. And they came home victorious. They won the championship. They were like 7 teams, 4 teams in one zone, 3 teams in another, and you play each other in your zone, and then the top 2 teams play in the semifinals. We defeated St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the finals, 15-9. I can't remember, but some small score. So congratulations to the players. Congratulations to Mr. Glenn Jeffers, president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Basketball Association, and his executive members, the coaches, the volunteers, whatever. And these guys, they've gone into history. The first team to win the OECS under 23. And they've had other OECS tournaments, club championships, country. But this is the first time they had under 23 and the 3x3. This is a new product. It's in the Olympics, and it's really, really relatively new. It wasn't in the last Olympics, so it has developed over the last 4 years, or last 2 years. And they are now seeded number 1 in the OECS and number 4 in the entire Caribbean. So congratulations to them. And of course, congratulations to Multrovin Farms, Clean Rights United, Old Road Jets, the SKNFA's Premier League champions, and that Premier League was sponsored by the National Bank Group of Companies. And forgive me if I call sponsors associated with clubs and events. I like to give sponsors their credit because I know sponsorship is important, very, very important. And of course, we welcome your sponsorship for Voices or any program that you may hear on Voices. What we're going to do, let us go and take a break, and we will be right back to have more on Voices here on winnfm 98.9. So stick and stay, don't go away.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Campari, Red Passion, embrace the mix.
Campari, Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari, Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari.
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA Blue Tag specials.
Running May 14th to May 27th.
Nutella hazelnut spread is just $18.99. Essential everyday cream cheese bars just $7.99. Celeste pizza single serve $6.99. Morningstar meatless entrees just $19.99. Almond breeze almond milk $9.99. Suavitel liquid fabric softener just $21.05.
And now our value deals. Essential everyday pasta sauce $9.99. Essential everyday pastas $4.99. Essential everyday cereals $10.99. Essential everyday ice cream cones $7.99. Essential everyday freezer bags $8.99. Soft soap body wash $19.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
Hello? 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 Bill, I don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you, and you do not have any audio. We can see that you are speaking, but no sound is coming through. Hello? Seem like
Okay. Caller, sorry we lost you. Do you mind calling again, caller? Seem to have gotten a thing or two not correct here. I'm hoping that you're hearing me. And we're live on Voices here at winnfm 98.9. Calling from we're operating from the Sands Complex, Unit C24 in Bastille. And please, if you're 4660989 is the number to call. We have another caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on winnfm 98.9.
your audio is off.
You're not hearing me, caller?
I'm not on Facebook. We can see you are speaking, but no sound is coming through.
So you're not hearing me here now, caller? You're not hearing me?
I can hear you now. I called you before and you answered and I couldn't hear you. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
I'll go back and see if your audio is coming through now on Facebook, but it wasn't before.
Okay, caller, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Voices here on winnfm 98.9. We are broadcasting from Unit C24 out of the Sands Complex in Bastille, St. Kitts, in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And 4660989, that is the number to call. And if you're calling from the UK, 033-344-0065, 718-285-6984 in the USA, and 305-921. If you 4619 if you're calling from Canada. And we started out by talking about the 3 persons, and they have been deported for visa overstaying, as the case may be, not any criminal activity. So we have to give thanks for that, because it would have been something else if they were criminals per se. But if and when the time comes when criminals are sent here, how will we be able to deal with that? Do we have the necessary resources in place to deal with that? And these are questions. I said earlier that we've invited various ministries of government to come and have a conversation with us and have you ask your questions to enlighten us. And some have answered and say, unfortunately, we can't make it, or we can't make it just now. We'll let you know. Others haven't answered at all. But that is sad. But I was speaking about the bathrooms down at the ferry terminal, and it is a sad affair that we have to be mentioning these things on air. And from experiences, it's only when, and I can't understand. Government ministers might be driving a location, passing a location for some time, and they will know that, and this is not just this government, previous governments as well, they will know that, well, the roads, they are in a serious state of disrepair, or something isn't working. And it's only when people call in on the radio stations, then you get work being done. I can't understand. If you're passing and you see work needs to be done, why you don't set up the order? And in this case, I'm referring to the ferry terminal. We've had a few callers onto the program indicating that, hey, the bathrooms, there are 3 bathrooms, 2 males, 2 females, 1 male and the 2 females, 3 of them are locked with only 1 open, and the one, some work needs to be done. I called the ministry, this CASPA, St. Christopher ANC Port Authority, and I was told that, hey, it's not us, it's the Ministry of Tourism. I called the Ministry of Tourism yesterday, and I was told that that information has been passed on to the maintenance department, and they will be working on it shortly. How shortly is shortly? I haven't a clue, but that's what I was told, and we have to go by that. We hope it'll be shortly, and we're not. I should be careful with what I'm going to say. A lot of people use these bathrooms, locals and non-nationals, and it is extremely inconveniencing when they're not working. One lady told me, a bar owner at the ferry terminal, that when she needs to use the bathroom, she has to basically walk halfway around Bastille. I don't think that is right. I don't think that is right at all, but why? Why is maintenance taking 2 months? I went down there myself, as I indicated previously, in March, when persons called into WinFM Voices and made the complaint. As recently as last week, there was a caller there who said that things weren't repaired as yet. And I know that because I use there to travel to the west side of the island. I'm from Sandy Point, SP, with the Bestby. So I catch my transportation down at the ferry terminal. And it is sad. It is sad when that is happening, but let's hope that'll be fixed. We're getting closer to Culturama, and I'm not suggesting it's only be fixed because of Culturama, but with Culturama, a lot of persons are going to be coming in and using the ferry to go across to Nevis. And it's a service for locals and visitors alike. Nationals living in St. Kitts, residents, nationals and non-nationals, and it doesn't send a good image because we don't know who's going to use the bathroom at one point, and everyone these days, it's all about videotaping, and you go in, you take a videotape, you videotape it with using your simple phone, and next thing you're going to see something on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, what have you, and somebody's going to give X here. But that could have been prevented had the systems been put in place after the reports. I don't know why we operate like that. And I'm taking it that I'm broadcasting. We haven't had a call, one call, 2 calls for the morning. So I don't know. Oh, yes, speaking of call, we have this caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Voices. You are live on WinFM 98.9.
Dave.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
It will be fixed when a tourist wants to use it and they cannot use it and they write it up on Facebook. That's the only way the government care about anything. When foreigners complain, when the locals complain, it don't mean anything. But when a tourist wants to use it and they write it up on Facebook that they come to our country and they couldn't even use a bathroom, you see how fast it will be fixed.
But why do you think that should happen? Why should we wait until that happens to fix it?
But isn't what they normally do? It shows that the locals doesn't really matter to them. Remember, they only need the locals every 5 years, you know. After they get the vote, you really don't, what you say don't mean squat to them. All they want is your vote. I mean, they clearly show it. After campaign, do you see them? And only now, you know election is in the air because all of a sudden you're hearing and you're seeing them. So you know election is in the air. And it seems like as local, it seems like something just don't register to realize these people only use you every 5 years. I care not about you on an average day. When you want them, you can't find them. You can't see them. They hide from you. But election is coming now. But all of a sudden, they want to go to the village. They want to come through and they come in with their fake plastic smile and their tongue smooth like butter to fool the people.
And it's unfortunate, caller, but what you're saying, I've had those experiences that people only do things when you're calling on the radio station, and especially when foreigners come. And with this TripAdvisor now, which caters for the hospitality industry around the world, when people are thinking about traveling to a country, the first place I believe they go and look is TripAdvisor, St. Kitts and Nevis, to get an idea what it is like persons who came to St. Kitts and Nevis, the experiences, and they might decide, why no, I can't go to St. Kitts and Nevis with this. And you're most correct. If and when we have...
Well, all the locals can do is put out the tourists need to use the bathroom so they can write it up on Facebook. Then the local will get a workable bathroom.
But
that's the same, but it's the truth.
But shouldn't the system be? I'm from Sandy Point. The Honorable Sean Richards, he's the elected member of parliament for Sandy Point. So I speak to him and say, Mr. Richards, not because he's not a member of government, but he's in parliament. Dr. Richards, this is the situation I experienced with the bathrooms at the ferry terminal. And shouldn't he be able to call, rather than wait until parliament, call somebody, some one of these officials, and say this is the case? Or maybe, I called 2 months ago and nothing happened, so I guess I don't have such a big voice per se.
Yeah, the fact that he should be able to call somebody, but we know how our politics go. If you're not in the party, if you're not a part of the party that is governing, you're really just a hot seat in parliament, you know. You're just there to just go against what they have and what they do. They don't really count you. It's not like here in the U.S. where no matter you have who in or out, you have a voice. Parliament is like a joke. The opposition in parliament is like, really, they cannot do anything. It's like their hands are tied. So you can only tell Sean really can't do anything, or unless he can go down there and clean it himself or fix it himself.
But then, Corner, that's not a bad idea. If he organizes a crew, 2-3 persons, and they go down there and they start to clean and they take videos of that, how will that be taken, though? Will that be taken, hey, that's a good Samaritan? Or will somebody rush in to stop the cleaning from happening and perhaps not even continue to clean?
Most likely they would probably stop the cleaning, because I could remember somebody did some plants, put down some flowers going up when you're going up, I think, Frigate Bay area.
Yeah, the Kim Collins Highway.
Did that went and pull them up?
Yes, and
then
it was along the Kim Collins Highway, but other trees.
And they went and pulled them up, right? Because it wasn't them doing it. Somebody else was trying to beautify the place, and how dare you?
But not only that, some trees were planted there before, so they pulled up all the trees, those that were newly planted and those that were planted there before. And but that isn't that petty? Isn't that immature of us as a people, us as politicians?
Immature, more than immature. But it goes to show that it's not about country, about self. It's not about that. It's about showing your power. Because the people give you the power, and you weaponize that power against the very same people who give it to you.
Which is sad, caller. And you find that, when would that change? And on our program on Saturday last, where we had Inside the News, and they spoke about the paradigm shift that was shared by Mr. Michael Blake, and he did an excellent job. I looked at the program in my view, and some heavyweight panelists, and they were all objective, and they all agree that there needs to be changed. There needs to be a change in the political environment in St. Kitts and Nevis and further afield. But if we're going to talk and the politicians are not going to make the change, and we are not going to be forcing them to make the change, then won't things continue as is?
At the end of the day, I guess it's left up to the people to want to decide whether they want to stick with the same old narrative.
Well, right now I'm monitoring the situation in England that they are gunning for the head of the Prime Minister. And when I say they, even members of his own party. And I was listening to a documentary that is saying that they have to seriously consider their position, because they have been challenged by persons on the left, persons on the right, and internally. And for the survival of the Labour Party, which is the ruling government in England, they need to seriously consider that. And persons, they don't waste time up there in England, eh? Even within your party, the members. One member resigned in protest, and another said, they get out and speak and say, well, hey, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm one of you, I'm in your party. But you have to do better. Similar to what?
But exactly, and that's real maturity. When you can tell your leader, ship out.
Exactly, and as was the case with the Honorable Timothy Harris and the then Honorable Sam Conda with the Labour Party, and even Dwyer Astafan, as somebody spoke about this morning. And that is how it should be. If I'm not happy with you, if we are married, Cleo, and I'm not happy things are not working out, even after trying, we get a divorce, don't we? So it should be the same thing.
Exactly.
But my father and my grandparents and my great-grandparents, they voted Labour, so I'm going to vote Labour. Or my great-grandparents always voted PAM, so I'm going to vote PAM. So when does that change for the betterment of the country, of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? Would that ever change?
It left to be seen.
Well, one day we'll wake up. I hope that we won't wake up too late. We wake up in time to see.
I think when we wake up, it's gonna be a different pigmentation running the country. So it's gonna be so sad for us, though, you know.
I appreciate your call, Cleo, and thanks for calling.
Good day.
Yeah, you too, ma'am, and continue listening, of course. And anytime you feel there's a need for you to express your view, I know you won't hesitate to do that. What we're going to do, we're going to go downtown and we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back in a sec. We got to pick up our sponsors. They are responsible for this program being on the air like so many other programs. And we are going to be, well, I have to wait. I'll just wait a few before we go to the break, or as we take this caller. We say, good morning, caller. Welcome to Voices. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Blessed rising, Biff.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Maybe. I listen to you and clearly talk about the politics and the struggles we have nowadays, you know? You know what I mean? It's like, you could see clearly it's just about a divide and rule narrative, you know? If we're divided, then we are easily misled, you know? Now, I look at news coming out of the UK where King Charles said his government would be implementing the digital ID. I don't know if you heard of that.
I know there have been some discussions on that.
Yeah, but I think it was last week, Thursday.
Thereabout, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, how you feel about the digital world? How do you feel about it? Because we don't really got much discussion about that, eh? But to me, it comes with huge implications. And to me, we need to start to have a conversation about this. You know what I mean? And if King Charles is the head of state of St. Kitts, then we're going to be going in that direction, implementing digital ID. I wonder if you know what you mean. You know what I mean? To check on digital ID. Remember, we're living in the age of transhumanism, eh? Transhumanism. So this is what we got to watch, right? We got to watch our soul. Because in the Bible, it's written that without a mark, you can't buy nor sell. Which means you can't take part in society without a specific mark. Right? And which in the Bible tells you don't take part. See? Because you take part, you're going to lose your soul. Because if you take part, there's a microchip that can put implant in you. Eh? They may say we put it is an app in the phone now. The digital ID is an app in the phone. Right? But you know, it can't stay in the phone because the phone is safe. Right? So the safest place for your ID, for you to be identified digitally, would be to put some kind of implant in you. Now, when you do that, put an implant in you, you're no longer a human being now.
You're on the way to becoming a robot?
You there, you don't change, right? Remember, your soul is the only thing you own, you know. If you check it out in life, in this life. And why you need your soul? Because your soul is the part of you that helps you to regenerate. God gives the man his life. You know what I mean? Not money, life.
But Carla,
Yeah.
how do you, what is leading you to conclude that a chip will be put in us as human beings? What has
Well,
caused you to
okay,
believe
the
that?
world is going digital, right?
That's correct.
Then everything must be able to register digitally. Right? Human beings are not digital creatures. So in order for us to register digitally, we have to have some kind of digital component. Right?
But can't it be, well, like how we have debit cards and credit cards, can't it be something like that?
Yeah, but I guess it's where you're going to start, right? A card, and then maybe your phone. But then you know that these things don't get hacked, right? You know, these things are not safe. You know that. And they know that. Right? The idea is to put it in you. And when it's in you now, then for them, it's safe.
But
And anyway, you show up, right? That can show up.
But is that really be safe? Would that really be safe? Can't that be hacked?
Well, when I say safe, remember safe for them to monitor you, you know, where you go and, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So you could be your phone or your card anyway, right? And you go different. See, remember, it's all about your movements, you know, tracking your movements. That was the digital money, all of them things there. You understand? This is what the Bible says, the prophecy, right? It's all about you selling your soul over to them. You selling out your power, your control. You don't control yourself after that. You know what I mean? And you need to look into them things there because you know everything glitter is gold, you know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah, man.
When do you think, well, you said King Charles, he is thinking about it and probably rolling out, but when do you think that it may happen on a wider scale throughout the world? In the next 10 years, 50 years, 20 years?
This is the year, this year.
This year, 2026?
You see the war we see going on in Iran? Ain't no real war, you know. Because the Bible says you ain't got war, you ain't got rumors of war.
But when you say it's not a real war, what do you mean?
Because you're tearing down a system, You're tearing down an analog system and you're building up a digital world. The world changing in front of your face.
But that is a war, people dying.
Yeah, but you see, this whole thing, I remember, you know, in this politics, in this political world, right? You like say me nothing, you know. See? You see our life as a game. See? It's a game to play with us. See? But until we, the people, them start to take stock of ourselves, you know what I mean? But we don't come ourselves, you know. We just can't remember, you know. All of us on this. I'll show you something, right? Earlier, they talk about the deportees America sent to St. Kitts, right? Can St. Kitts send deportees to America?
Of course not.
We can't do that. All nations equal, you know. No nation is above no nation. Because His Majesty said the only kingdom above is the kingdom of God. Different from that, all nations are equal. When they go in the United Nations, all of them got one vote.
One vote, correct.
One vote, no matter how big and mighty they be.
But I always say, no, Carla, everybody, human beings, all of us are equal. But then some people are more equal than others.
Because of the system, you got privilege. A privilege is not a right, yeah? And that is where they give you the edge to say, well, you got more ranks than the next man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But in reality, you don't have more ranks than the next man. You know what I mean? You maybe got more stress than the next man. Because to put you in high ranks in the society, a stress going to come your way. You understand? So we the people them now, we need to forget the politics. I see the politics don't gone in the sense that, well, we want in a system where we didn't create, right? Our government, all we do, we select the representative for the government, but the government is the King Charles government. That was he's the head. He is the head of our state. How we could get an independent country with our own government, which we elect, and The down pressure still there. It can't happen. See, but that is the reality we are dealing with, so nothing has changed from the time them put me in slavery. You know what I mean? We just disguising things. But we need to wake up out of that. You see? Because when we wake up, right, things don't start to change. See? In favor of we, and I don't mean that you gotta go on, violent way, but be responsible for yourself. You know what I mean? And stop. Cause even as our government, you know what I mean, we stand among the United Nations, we got talk for equality, because no nation is above none. No matter because it's small or it's big, you know what I mean? All are equal. We go for one, go for all. See? So we got to move away from that. I don't trust me, my brethren, we're not going anywhere. We just make ourselves joyful for the fire. The judgment is real, yeah.
Yes,
the judgment is real.
30 more seconds, please, caller.
Man, I give thanks, man. Blessed Lord.
Okay, thank you for calling. And this is a good time for us to go and have a break. Big up our sponsors downtown. So stick and stay. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Voices.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
Build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. People, we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come, let your rhythm flow.
Campari. Red Passion. Embrace the mix.
Campari Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari!
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Voices here on WinFM 98.9. It's now 11:14 and 50 seconds past. Well, the time in the studio here, 11:14 and 50 seconds. And it looked like I want a clip to go on with me. It's talking about an earthquake in one year happening in the year of another year. And we got to be careful what we say these days. And you're listening to Voices here on WinFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills. Of course, you can call in, share your views, share your opinions, share your ideas, what you're having, what you're happy with, what you're not happy with, locally, regionally, and internationally. And regionally, we know the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. As we pause to go to this call, we say good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Welcome.
Yes, baby, it's me again. Now, your caller before the break, he is so right, and I think I mentioned it on WinFM before. Right now, yeah, in England, if you don't get that digital ID, they're telling you cannot work.
Mm-hmm.
So can you imagine? They did that with COVID. Now they're doing this with this digital ID, telling you cannot work. So you cannot work, you cannot feed yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like COVID, a lot of people fall for it and they went and they get the juke. It's a lot of people gonna fall for it and they're gonna get this digital ID, which is like he said, it starts with this digital ID. Mm-hmm. And if they want, they can automatically freeze your bank account. You're gonna get up and think you're gonna go to your ATM and get money, and the money gonna be there because then with the digital ID, they're gonna be able to monitor everything you do. And they're gonna have full control because they're literally over you. But you see, I think I mentioned on WinFM, we take these things, we look at all these things that life's gonna be so easy. They come up with these things and they tell you, it's gonna make life easy. Do this because to be like easiness. And we don't want to work hard for nothing. We want it easy. So then that's how they get the people. Microwave everything. Everything is quick. So here's the digital this and the digital that. And that's where they're going to get the people. And it's going to end up to being the mark of the beast because you're going to have to take the chip. And they can't monitor your phone unless you're not like the caller thing. You could leave your phone at home. But your body is where they're going to have to track you through that chip where they're going to implant in you. So the caller was right with everything he said. So it's up to people. That's why the word of God said, choose ye this day whom you will serve. You have to make up your mind. I ain't taking it.
I was just going to ask the caller, if it comes to the U.S. and it's a case of you having to take it, would you take it?
Baby. Baby, I did not take that juke. I did not take Maccabees. The blood of Jesus is against that demon. I'm a brand new man. I'm born again. I ain't no way I'm going to sign on to that. And plus, this, the way how the world is running right now, people look around and they don't believe that God is on his way back. Many people, they don't believe in God and they don't want to hear nothing about God. But if we look around, everything, the Bible, as some people say, the book what people criticize, but everything is fulfilling around us. Can you see it? Are everybody that blind? It is fulfilling around us. Everything is and it's Bill, can you remember when you were small, you used to pray for Christmas to come?
Exactly. Correct.
And the year to come?
Indeed.
Didn't January just started the other day?
Yes.
Last week.
And flying away?
We almost at it. We almost at the middle of the year. Next month will be half of the year. And January just started the other day. Didn't the word of God say, I'm going to shorten the days for the elect's sake? And though we shall short the days off, as you put your head down and sleep this morning.
Exactly. Exactly.
God's word is real. The book what many people criticize, it is very real. It is fulfilling around us. People, get out. It behooved us. Get it together because there coming a day you're either going to take the mark of the beast or you have to prepare to die for your right. Die for Christ. For God I live, for God I die. You have a good day, baby.
Okay, Cleo, thanks a lot. Indeed, you too. And that's interesting. Cleo says she's not going to be taking that, but it is a serious thing. I don't believe. Well, I wonder how serious we human beings take things, and when do we start to take things seriously? I'm remembering the COVID when it started. I guess everyone's taking it seriously. We've had hurricanes here, and when it was it the '89 hurricane is when we start really taking hurricanes seriously here in the Federation. And persons have died, gone outside of their homes, going from here to there when hurricane happening. And I don't know, the hantavirus, it's a problem regionally within the area, the space it's occupied, but I understand that it's not an international concern at the moment. 100 plus persons have died. I don't know if there's a formula. 200 persons have to have died from it before it's considered another state or heading into a pandemic state. So that is a case. And the numbers are going. The ship is back into Holland where it originated from. And I don't know, these diseases, and some may argue that they're man-made and etc., etc. And there's the Ebola again, which is expanding in Africa. Africa has always been hit by the Ebola. I don't know why. And there's another disease that is causing some death. It's linked to the gastroenteritis. It's not that, but it's linked to that. It's something along with similar symptoms or whatever. I heard of that last week. Only a handful of persons have passed so far, and I'm not saying I expect more or anything like that, but I'm just repeating the facts. And speaking about hurricane, the hurricane season begins on the 1st of June. That is in today's the 20th, so that's in 11 days, 12 days' time. Are we in an adequate state of hurricane preparedness? With 2 weeks to go, 14 days, 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. Are we where we should be when it comes to preparation for the hurricanes? Have we checked our hurricane shelters? Are they in good conditions? Is that list of hurricane shelters produced already? Who are our district managers, members of the district various district committees? Have those lists been put out? And a few years ago, NEMA, the way they approached it, they had a video of each district manager saying, "Hi, I am so-and-so district manager for whatever and whatever." And I like that idea. I really like that idea. So you're not only hearing, but you're seeing who the person was. So in case I didn't know, I don't know his name, but I see the person in going to and fro, I'll be able to make some connections with that. So we haven't had much damage, well, any damage for the last few hurricanes. Just a bit of rain, a bit of wind. Our sister Isle of Dominica, they've had a torrid time. We know last year Jamaica really had it rough. They got a tough time with that hurricane. And they have, for some time, I think Hugo had given them some beating. Gilbert, Loving Dear, one of my favorite artists, he had a song, well, a few songs about Gilbert. Blow Angry Wind Blow, and a song named Gilbert, as a matter of fact. And Hugo, I think it was, that reached all the way up to England, went across the Atlantic, and went over to England because of how strong a hurricane that was. So are we really preparing ourselves adequately? Trimming the trees, the neighbor hanging trees and things like that, checking our electricity supply, our roofs, and making plans to start buying up some stock of food just in case, a water supply, backup water. And we have to be mindful of that. And if we go to, well, since we haven't any callers, I'm going to go to 1 or 2 news item. There's a cybersecurity training happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And cybersecurity, that is a big issue. The hacking, the internet, the WhatsApp, phones, that is serious. And I was just speaking about Ebola, and I'm seeing an article, SKN Health Ministry monitors Ebola outbreak. That's May 20th. Last year, the Ministry of Health is actively monitoring an Ebola, and this is taken from another website of a media house here in St. Kitts. The Ministry of Health actively monitoring an Ebola virus disease outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, and Uganda, which has been declared a public health emergency of international concern, PHEIC, on May 17, 2026. The Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, has assessed the risk to the Caribbean, including St. Kitts and Nevis, as low. As of May 19, more than 500 suspected cases have been reported, with 131 deaths, that's due to Ebola, linked to the current outbreak. The World Health Organization, WHO Director General, declared that the PHEIC underscoring the need for heightened global vigilance and coordinated public health action. Laboratory testing has confirmed that the outbreak is caused by the Bundibugyo strain of the Ebola virus, one of the 4 primary strains known to affect humans. The outbreak is concentrated in the Ituri province of northeastern DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, with additional cases reported in Kampala, Uganda. The Bundibugyo strain was first identified in Uganda in 2007 and carries a case fertility rate of 25 to 50%, generally lower than other major Ebola strains. It's refreshing to know that there are various types of Ebola, and this one isn't as bad as the others, but it is bad nonetheless. 131 people have passed so far. So that is something that we have to be very, very careful about. And don't think that it's over there so it can't reach here. All it really takes is a flight. We have West Indians going to Uganda, Kittitians and Nevisians going to Africa, Nigeria, wherever the case is. And somebody could bring it back. Bring it back on the flame and on the aircraft, and as easy as that. That is the case. UNESCO Cybersecurity Workshop opens in St. Kitts, May 16th. St. Kitts and Nevis National Commission for UNESCO hosted the SIM Caribbean Cybersecurity for Older Adults hybrid workshop on Wednesday, May 13th, bringing together regional stakeholders to discuss cybersecurity, media literacy, misinformation, and digital transformation in the Caribbean. Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Minister of Education, highlighted the increasing need for senior citizens to be equipped with the skills to navigate today's world of today's technology-driven society safety. I quote, "Today, we gather at a defining moment. The digital world is no longer optional. It is how we bank, how we access healthcare, how we stay connected to family, and how we participate in the life of our nation. Through the Ministry of Education, Gender Affairs, Aging, and Disabilities, we understand that media and information literacy is not a luxury for seniors. It is a right. a shield and the key to independence. End quote. By literacy, not the regular read and write. We're talking about software, computers, telephones even. That is key. And we have to step up with the times. I like the fact that parents are giving children tablets and telephones to play games and things with. And some children are manipulating it, using it to good effect. You see them swiping and shifting and selecting different games. When we were young, we didn't have that sort of thing. So we have to appreciate that is the case. So I came up in a bus with a lady, a baby, probably about a year and a half, and she was using the phone. And when something goes off that she really wants to see, she makes a little noise and mommy puts it back. So that's a good thing. And the elderly, I don't know how much of us really spend some time caring for the elderly, concerned for the elderly, looking out for the elderly. And I would argue that for two reasons. One, they paved the way for us to be here where we are, enjoying whatever we are enjoying today, experiencing what we're experiencing. They paved the way. They worked hard for that. And the second thing is, with life, good life from the Almighty, we are going to get there one of these days. We are going to become an elder. I'm 62, and I mean, I don't feel 62, but I never thought that it didn't occur by if one of these days you're going to be 62. You know, I was just enjoying life and going along, especially with energy strength, which I thank the Almighty for. And here am I at 62. One morning, I'm just 62 now. And yes, you may not be as quick as you were in other things, but you're alive, give thanks. And of course, there are others older than me, 70 yard, 80 yard, 90 yard. So we may not reach those ages, but we have to give thanks still. But we want people, when we go a little older, especially if we're not so mobile, we need our children and grandchildren, especially, to be taking care of us, that family love. Some persons don't have that luxury because the children may have passed or they don't get on with children for whatever reason. So we cannot take the elderly for granted. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you could do some kindness, some act of kindness every day for an elderly, that will be wonderful. That is excellent. And I would commend you highly for that. And they have their programs in this. They normally have sessions to keep them active as we go to the line and say good morning to this caller. Welcome to Voices Your Live.
This is again, Brother Biff.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. When I was listening, you're speaking about some of the digital visions being made, you know. You see the thing, Biff? I should hide the truth, right? Nothing wrong with the technology and all of these things. You understand? Because it's the product of man. Right? The AI and all of these things, and is man's efforts to make his life easier. See? But, yeah, listen to me.
Yes, I'm listening to you, caller.
Oh, yeah, but you see, it's like we're living in a time where the people in control, you know what I mean, we control the direction of the world, you know. Yeah, really the kindest people, you understand? And the best interest of I and I as human being is not in the, you know, I mean, greatest desire to really, like, you know, I mean, fulfill our desire then, you know, is more to achieve the objective. So these gadgets, these technological gadgets are being used to enable that. You understand? But the instrument itself, you know what I mean? It's just instruments, you understand? And you can use them. Anybody can use them as long as they have knowledge of how to use them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you can use them to benefit you. See? So quite natural, they got beneficial purposes to human being. But when you're using it to manipulate and control people's destiny, that's the wrong use. You understand? And these are the things where I as a human being mustn't allow. You understand? You can't allow AI to come rule your destiny.
Sorry to laugh. Sorry to laugh, King, but AI is really running the world right now, eh? A lot of ads being produced on radio is AI, and no doubt some persons doing SBAs and projects and things like that is AI, and AI basically give you anything you need.
Right. See? And it's a double-edged sword it is. See? Because on one edge, it cutting sharp and making you look bright. You understand? And on another edge, it turning you into a dummy. You understand?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. See? Because if this you can do all your thinking, then what you need a brain for?
Exactly.
See? I remember what you name me now. Antichrist intelligence, you know? Artificial intelligence. Which means if you got artificial intelligence, then there is natural intelligence. So which can be superior, the natural one or the artificial one?
Well, the
You
way
know,
things,
natural one is
the
the
way things
living
go-
one, you know.
Yeah, but the way things going, AI gonna be running things and dominating because of the very, very extremely short time it takes to process things.
You see something, Biff? I'll show you something, right? And this is what they never teach us. See? You'll be made in the likeness and the image of God. Right? We don't take no time to understand that. Right? And we put everything else ahead of us, over us. Like, you know what I mean? In Psalms 8, he said man was made a little below the angels. You know? How AI come above us. It's not angelic intelligence, you know. It's artificial. See? Come from a man, which means that's supposed to be below man. Right? Mankind was created by the Almighty, right? With a number of abilities and capabilities.
Correct.
And we don't know nothing about them things there. All we know is outside of ourselves. All we know is what the teachers say, well, we live on the globe and we're spinning and all of these foolishness, you know what I mean? And we believe these things in big people today.
So you don't believe the universe, the world is spinning? You don't believe that?
Spinning?
Yeah.
A bit, you know, when something's spinning, as a man, you don't know when something's spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do it spinning?
I believe so. We are told so, and I believe so.
You just tell me you know when something's spinning here, so we are going to believe now. You just tell me you know when something's spinning.
But remember, it's a different. You're spinning the top. You yourself spinning around something going around so fast or so slow.
So if you got a merry-go-round, the merry-go-round go, yeah, it's spinning around.
Of course it has.
No.
Of course it has. You're trying to tie me up.
No, I'm not tying you up now. Me try for free the eye, because watch you, right? They teach us all of these things, you know what I mean? But these are just theories. Saying they tell you the sun 93 million miles. Well, which guy went to measure that? You know what I mean?
Well, I guess they have instruments now.
Yeah. Remember they tell you they went on the moon?
Exactly.
I know they're telling you they can't go on the moon today when they're supposed to be so technological and scientifically advanced. You see? So it's like we the human beings of Earth, you know. You gotta wake up with your question, you know.
Yeah.
I know so people give people bubble, you know what I mean? I come and I tell you that thing. Giant say you got things go so.
That's true.
So
I have to
to
come and
check
tell
it
you
for
A
yourself.
when it's X.
Right. But this digital thing is going to be a big challenge for us because a lot of us can just go the easy route and say, well, take the ID. Check by transhumanism, you're changing your structure. It looks simple, but you see, if you take out the chip out of the computer can't work. See? Small, but not insignificant. You understand? And these men know the science. check it out. Remember, it's a lot of years they've been going through the testing how to grow cells and the chip and all of these things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Interaction and all of these. They know what I did with, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So just like with the COVID thing, we take and by COVID is another mystery, you understand? But we gotta be more responsible, you see, for ourselves. It's our right.
Mm-hmm.
It's our right to do that, to be so. We have to question things, how these things, these changes gonna benefit we, how they're gonna make we life better, how they make we into better people.
Exactly.
See, it ain't make no sense we're going along with the system just because you want to say you're going along with the system, you know what I mean?
Correct.
Yes, I think I said enough for the morning. Give thanks.
Thank you, Raz. Thanks for calling and making your input. We really appreciate it. And thank you for continuing to listen to WinFM 98.9. Okay, sir. And that's a good point to go to a break. It's now, 11:40. Time really flies, as a previous caller said. And I remember on the 1st of January, I said time flying and the year going fast and people abuse me. But let's stick and stay. Don't go away as we go downtown to big up our sponsor.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
Campari. Red Passion. Embrace the mix.
Campari Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari.
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
We're back on Voices here at WinFM 98.9. It's the last leg, and it's 11:44. We are going to take a few more calls, and we have to have them a little more concise now to give more persons calls once they show up. But advancing into AI, artificial intelligence, and that's being used to good effect these days. And we hear songs being produced as we go to this caller. Say good morning, caller. You're live on WinFM 98.9's Voices.
Yes, it's me again. No, Did you? I don't know if you see. As the caller was talking about the AI. See, God gives man knowledge, but man likes to take the knowledge that God gives them and do them. Use it. You can either use that knowledge to do a world of good or a world of evil. And this AI thing, I think they're out to get rid of some of humans. Did you see the video where they create this AI robot and it was breastfeeding?
No, I haven't seen that one, but I saw some what they call it, human-sized robots in Japan, I think it was, who they were working with the airlines loading and unloading baggages. So therefore means that they will, and they're saying they're not going to replace humans, but ultimately they will, because if you find a machine much better, much cheaper.
They don't have to pay the machine.
Exactly. So.
But I went into this one where the robot is trying to breastfeed.
Breastfeed. That's interesting. That's extremely interesting.
Just a lot. Look at this. And you ever heard? Look how it is. The robot ain't got no real breast. They put a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
They put a bottle where the breast supposed to be, and bring up the baby, and the bottle go in the baby mouth. No. But it's supposed to be breastfeeding. God help us.
I guess it's another effort to fool us.
Exactly. So you see, these quacks are trying everything that they can do. When we think these things are a joke. If you remember, the movie was Will Smith did. Don't we see them playing out now in front of us?
Which movie?
It was a movie, but we see what happened now, right?
Which one is that, Carla? Because he did several movies.
This one was about the robots. Then I don't remember the name of the movie. I, Robot.
Okay.
When the robot them took over. Started killing humans.
Okay, I don't remember it.
Yeah, when you go home, go on YouTube and pull up the movie I, Robot.
I, Robot. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. Will Smith was the star of that movie. I think what they do to us is they bring the idea in form of movie.
So they sell us the idea.
Down the line, they make it a reality.
They get us accustomed to it, and then they drop it in the real thing on us.
Exactly. You got it. You got it.
Interesting, caller.
Test it in a movie form. Get us, interested in that. And then they bring it to make it a reality. I think that's what they do to us. But the robot was trying to breastfeed. They're driving cars now where there's nobody in it. The cars are moving. But we better be prepared. That's all I can tell, man. Be prepared, because there's a whole lot more to come. Maybe you have a good day.
Same to you, caller. Thank you for calling, and thank you for continuing to listen to WinFM 98.9. This AI, and I don't know, man is always trying to outdo man, and I guess that has been happening since biblical days, where man tried to build a tower to reach up in the air, and with man now trying to build man, try to actually make flesh and blood and bones and things like that to replicate man, cloning as it's called. I don't know, but the AI, the caller is saying the breastfeeding, and these are not things we should really take lightly in my view, because this might be stage one, stage two might be something else. And I did say on Voices sometime maybe last month, earlier this month, that in Japan they were using robots to load the baggage in and out of the plane, and they were human size. So once they experiment with that and get that done, will we really be phased out? In football, you had the referee only making the decision. Now there's something called VAR, Video Assistant Referee, and again, technology. And in cricket, when an umpire says a man is out or not out, that used to be the case whether you like it or not. Now there's the review system where they look at it, slow down the ball, look at where it pitch, where it's moving, the height, where it impacted, use the impact, and make a decision from there. So it's all the technology, whether we like it or not, whether we're running or not, it's going to happen. But you go in the supermarket, you see a robot, perhaps down the road, cashing, picking up your milk and just scanning it, putting it there. Somebody else, maybe another robot, would be packing it up. So the late Lord Kitchener had a song, Pan in Danger. But could it be a case where human beings, we are in danger? And that is something else. Well, we didn't touch the war in Iran, and neither the war in Ukraine. And I guess because they're there, we don't concentrate on them too much. It isn't a bother to us. Well, the one in Iran, that is affecting us directly because it is causing prices to increase, especially with the fuel. But other things are increasing as well. And the President of the United States has indicated that some country asked him to ease up on the war, something to that effect. And Qatar, they are saying there needs to be more time for coming up with a solution, settling the difference between Iraq and the United States and Israel. And Russia and Ukraine, they exchanged some prisoners of war, some 200 or thereabout of them. And Russia, I read an article, I don't know how many of you may have read or heard it, that the president of Russia, President Putin, he said his advisors told him that this war with Ukraine would have lasted 4 days. It's going on for more than 4 years now, heading towards February is going to be 5 years. And I really believe that was the case. I thought he expected this war to finish quicker in a hurry, maybe a week, 2 weeks. But that wasn't really the case. 4 years after, going for 5 years. I guess he didn't expect that. And some persons are saying it's maybe embarrassment, shame, why he isn't finishing the war. Maybe pride, I don't know. But there seems no insight for Ukraine. And they must be commended for putting up a strong fight like this. They must be commended for that. And I heard an article again, a news report, that Antigua and Barbuda, working along with St. Kitts and Nevis, supporting the geothermal in Nevis, and Antigua and Barbuda plans to buy energy, geothermal energy from Nevis when they come on stream. And that's interesting. And when Nevis does that start out, does that mean that other countries will follow? Chances are yes, because we are copycat people. If you do something that I like how it looks like, you're making money or popularity from it, I'm going to try to do something similar. And then Peter down the road is going to try to do something similar, and John somewhere across the road. Because we look at other people, and when we see something that is working, especially if we didn't think about it originally, boy, you see a guy in some money, boy, so let me get into it. And it doesn't necessarily mean because you're getting into it, whatever the business is, it will generate funds. And I think I used the example, consider pizza. And then 2 of us share the pizza, each of us get half. But then 2 other people come, and we share the pizza equally, so everybody get a quarter, and we continue piecing like that, piecing. So at the end of the day, you'll probably have next to nothing to share because so many persons are already sharing. So we have to be careful with that. And I heard an article about the increase in jet fuel. Obviously, they're going to call out these jets. And I think it's Spirit. There's a Spirit jet in the that has gone out commission because of the high rising cost of fuel, and it's becoming a concern. So obviously, airlines are going to increase their tickets, so traveling is going to be more expensive. Traveling by air, especially, is going to be more expensive again. And this war in Iran, when it's finished, when will it be finished? And Qatar has said there needs to be more time to broker a deal. There's not enough time to negotiate. So Qatar is involved in trying to end the war. And I don't know. I don't know when this war is going to finish, irrespective of when the president of the US is saying he can end it anytime he wants. I've learned that in life. What was he saying? Talk is cheap, whiskey costs money. And I could say anything I want. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. It's real. God the Lord give me a mouth to talk, and I could just talk and talk. And a lot of us do that. We talk, not realizing what we're talking about. And maybe some people just talk and, okay, let me say that and forget about it. And you go on, and tomorrow, you may not even remember what you said. Kevin Brown is dated May 19. Travelers can now book spots on P&O Cruises, a subsidiary of Carnival Corporation. Leaving from Homeport St. Kitts will feature the 184,000 gross ton mega ships Iona and Avia. Full-scale round-trip sailing operations are scheduled to begin November 27 at Port Zante in Bastia. Itineraries feature 7-night and 14-night round-trip voyages in the Caribbean. A sample 14-night itinerary includes stops in Tortola, St. Martin, Dominica, Antigua, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Barbados before returning to Bastia. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Dew announced that bookings are now open, described the initiative as a major step forward for the country's tourism industry and the wider economy, and praised Tourism Minister Honorable Marsha Henderson for bringing the project to fruition. That's interesting. So in cases where we have to go to Miami or Guadeloupe or Barbados or wherever to link up on a cruise ship, you go down, people will be coming here to get on these cruise ships. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 11:58 and 2 minutes. We have to bring the show to an end. We have to call it that. We thank you for listening to Voices here on winnfm 98.9. We thank you for your calls. We do appreciate that. And please continue to listen. Next edition of Voices is on Friday. That will be Heritage Matters with Mr. Percival Hanley. We ask you to join in for that. And don't forget Real Talk with Lavi. That happens tonight at 8 p.m. Real Talk with Lavi Lavon Gums. Stick and stay. Don't go away. The major news, that's coming up next. And as I leave, I encourage you to always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you for listening.